Alex Ruoff, one of the great shooters that the West Virginia program has ever seen. An emotional night for Ruoff before the game began. Welcome back to our Saturday primetime game presented by DirecTV. Louisville leading West Virginia by 3. Time now to talk a little strategy, brought to you by Charles Schwab. Unfortunately for Ruoff, once the game began, he wasn't able to get any looks. Got in some foul trouble, had to go to the bench. He hasn't scored a point.
Yeah, they've really done a great job shadowing him, not giving him any really good looks. He's taken 2 shots, does 4, and he's really struggled. Louisville's done a phenomenal job in their coaching and their strategy to make sure they find him and to shadow him. And the scouting report says the kid can flat out shoot the ball. The next 3 breaks his school record.
So Ruoff scoreless. Butler's only got 4, but if you're Bob Huggins, you're only down 3. You got to feel pretty good about that, don't you?
Yeah, well, the 3 happened, too, because of the shooting ability of Williams, who's improved so much, his long-range ability.
How about this in the first half? Terrence Williams, 4 for 4 from 3, 14 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. What a first half for Terrence Williams.
And that's what you expect from the star of stars, to respond in a positive way, especially in an environment like this on the road.
Yeah.
He's a veteran player. He's experienced. They're 7-1 on the road. The only loss, the blowout to Notre Dame.
And you know what? The louder it is, the more hostile it is, the more he likes it, the bigger the smile is on the face of Terrence Williams.
Yeah, he's got that little cocky look. He was a high school sensation out of Washington area in Seattle. In fact, they had 5 great players coming out of that area.
Earl Clark had his shot blocked. He's had a quiet night. 5 points, 1 rebound in the first half for Clark, who, as we mentioned, is a junior. He has decided to go to the NBA next year, and he's projected as a top 10 pick right now. 6'9", could shoot, can pass. Butler, no. Rebound Williams, but Clark is a little more up and down. Terrence Williams plays at a much more consistently high level. There's Williams with a left hand, doesn't get the bounce. And we'll have a Louisville foul as we go to Aaron Andrews.
Dan had a chance to speak with Louisville head coach Rick Pitino coming out. He felt like West Virginia was able to get the momentum, that 10-0 run, because he felt like this game was called a little tight during that first half, and the Cardinals were taken out of their aggressive style. So he said, looks for them to get that back in the second half. Also, as I was watching the team walk out from the locker room, a couple of things that they were talking to each other about: offensive rebounds. Only 2 offensive rebounds for the Cardinals in the first half. And the press. That's the one thing Louisville was stressing as they were walking out. Keep pressing, guys.
Well, Rick Pitino might be stressing a little bit right now because Samardo Samuels just picked up his 3rd foul. He's gone to the bench. But Jennings, a very capable replacement, is back in as West Virginia turns it over again.
Well, you know, they turned it over. Did a great job stripping Ruoff for the basketball. Jennings, though, has been a positive force for Louisville. They don't lose a whole beat there when they go for Jennings for Samuels.
How about this? 5 minutes in the first half for Jennings, 4 blocks. This is a great defensive team, the Louisville Cardinals.
He had a great game against this club the first time with 14 points.
The off-balance runner by Clark will draw the foul, and he'll go to the line for 2.
You know, Clark's been a little up and down. You talk about top 10 in terms of the NBA draft. That is strictly on potential, potential. And I've seen a lot of coaches get fired because they draft guys on potential.
Dick, Alex Ruoff, foul number 3.
You can see the frustration on his face. He really is frustrated. He's so emotional, wants things to happen. Came here all fired up on a special night. Mom, Dad in the house.
Well, Ruoff looked over to the bench. Bob Huggins called Kevin Jones over. Looked like he was going to sub Jones in, but then he told Jones to sit back down, so Ruoff gets a reprieve. And Ruoff just picked up his 4th.
He pushed.
He just pushed off to get space, and he just picked up his 4th foul.
No doubt about it. I mean, there's no doubt about the foul. Right in front of the official. You're going to watch him push off right here. There it is. See the little push in this area? He pushed off. Absolutely. Can't get away with that. Look at Rick. Rick ecstatic about that.
Wow. Alex Ruoff on his senior night, scoreless, and now on the bench with 4 fouls.
We might not see that record established here. Breaking Pittsburgh's record. He was some shooter. We caught him on a miserable night against Pittsburgh. Remember that?
Yes.
Kevin Pittsburgh.
And for Ruoff, I mean, you want a guy, he's on the verge of a West Virginia record. The next 3 breaks Pittsburgh's record. You want him to do it at home. This is his last ever home game, but it's starting to look like it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. They're going to New York and they'll play in the Big East tournament, but it's starting to look like it might not happen here in front of the hometown fans.
And he's had a terrific career here thus far. He really has in many areas. Came out of Spring Hill, Florida.
Wave off the basket.
Played at Central High School. Averaged 30 points a game in high school the first 6 games. Hurt his ankle, then came back. And the first game back, he breaks his ankle. Yep. So he didn't really play much, but he won a 3-point shooting contest. John Beilein liked what he's seen. Got him a commitment here to West Virginia.
Third foul on Terrence Jennings. So Jennings has 3, and he's replacing Samuels, who has 3.
I got 10 fouls. They can rotate in that post position.
Zone look from the Cardinals. Nice.
Oh, wide open.
Ebanks to Jones again. Ebanks in this game has 5 assists already.
That was a breakdown of communication by Clark. Yep. There was no communication on the back line and finding people to match up.
Jones has a dozen, Dick. He's in double figures for the 6th game in a row, really stepping it up at the end of his freshman season.
Well, that tandem's really playing well when you joke Ebanks and Jones.
Keeping him in it.
This crowd keeping him in it, too. The adrenaline from the crowd.
Clark into traffic. Banks home a tough 10-footer.
That was a big-time play right there. There's that little potential we talked about.
More pressure from Louisville. McGee and Smith trying to keep him from getting it over the timeline.
They just constantly come up in your face. They don't make life easy at all. There's a turnover. Little turnover city.
Louisville's defensive numbers are 1st or 2nd in every significant category in the Big East.
Teams only shoot 39% against him. He gets those versatile athletes, multi-dimensional players. You can play them in different spots of the floor.
Clark with the travel.
That's a walk.
Championship Week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods is on ESPN2 tomorrow night. First at 7:30 Eastern, number 5 Auburn on the women's side takes on the winner of the LSU Vandy game that's going on right now in the SEC Women's Championship. ESPN, the exclusive home for the NCAA Women's Championship. Then at 9:30 Eastern, it's Gonzaga against the winner of Santa Clara and San Diego.
You know, you mentioned Dick's Sporting Goods. I had such a great time with all of them at the ESPN weekend, man. We had a great time with Mickey Mouse and company.
Down in Orlando.
Oh, it was phenomenal. Brett Favre, everybody there, having a blast.
Wellington Smith for 3.
That's a big 3 right there by Smith.
Just 28% on the season from beyond the arc. He's got 7, and it's a 1-point game.
Tell you, guys like Smith and Jones have really elevated their game because Butler and Ruoff have not been found.
And again, Ruoff scoreless and on the bench with 4 fouls. Terrence Williams.
Are you serious?
5th 3 of the game.
Are you serious? The report on him is let him shoot the perimeter shot. Well, my friends, forget about that. Work, work, and work, and teaching has made him a good shooter.
Jones with 2 more.
Attack the pressure. That's what they told me before the game. We want to attack pressure. We don't want to play conservative. They said we're not going to go lateral with the ball. East-west, we want to go north-south.
Williams thinking about it, and he is fouled by Deshaun Butler.
We got another good game here, buddy.
Yes,
we got another good Big East game. And at stake, Louisville can win the Big East regular season title outright, Mr. Schumann.
They've got a 2-point lead here in Morgantown early second half. Hi, we revisit our Star Watch. Alex Ruoff in foul trouble much of the night. Has 4 fouls right now. Does not have a single point. You know, you look at the Big East leaders. Terrence Williams is in the top 10 in rebounding, assists, and steals. He's not in the top 30 in scoring, but he can impact a game without scoring. So when he does shoot the ball well, he can be the dominant player in the game.
Yeah, that really takes him to another level. It becomes a flat-out PT peer. Hey, both these coaches know a little bit about winning. We talk about Rick Pitino, who would be a Hall of Famer, is going to be a Hall of Famer. A little out-of-bounds play. Bob Huggins, though, has some incredible numbers. 4th right now, active list. Rebound. There's the offensive rebound.
Terrence Jennings.
Yes, sir. He's so solid. He's right behind right now, Coach K, Calhoun, and Boeheim are the only guys ahead of him.
Not bad company.
Not bad company at all. Hall of Famers.
Yep. Bob Huggins led the University of Cincinnati to a Final Four in 1992 at 16 years there. Now back at his alma mater for the 2nd year after 1 year at Kansas State.
He's had 3 Elite Eights as well.
Bryant. In and out, rebound Knowles.
They're really using Ebanks on that perimeter with his size.
Andre McGee,
Nice fake.
good fake. Into the chest of Thurman. Offensive foul.
Right there, the call being made, and a good call. He left his feet susceptible to the charge. Here he is. Gets in triple threat position. Defense rotates over, makes contact, and the goal is waved off. There's that full court, relentless, tenacious pressure. I mean, you got to be so alert against Louisville. They're constantly playing harassment.
And Bob Huggins said in the game up at Freedom Hall, another turnover. He said they just kept handing it over to Louisville in the backcourt for layups. Even though Louisville turned the ball over more in that game than West Virginia did, the West Virginia turnovers were so costly because they were in the backcourt and Louisville got easy points out of them. And Bob Huggins said, if we're going to win this game, we can't give them the basketball.
No, Louisville turned the ball over. What an amazing stats. Wins the game, turns it over 26 times. I'll tell you a stat that impresses me with Louisville and tells you about their aggressiveness. They get 8 steals a game.
A missed shot by Williams. He's now missed his last 2.
They were too close.
Lead for the Cardinals. That's right.
There's that zone right now, that 2-3.
Louisville playing for the outright Big East regular season title and the #1 seed going into the Big East championship. West Virginia is locked into the 7th seed. This is the last Big East regular season game. All that's left to be decided is who's 1 and who's 2 between Louisville and Pittsburgh. And it goes for Jones. What a night he's having.
Jones really getting open looks at that high post against that 2-3 zone. Gets that open look, slides right in the gap.
Jared Swapshire into the game for the first time for Louisville. Williams on the drive, draws the foul.
Nice backdoor cut.
Well, we talked a little bit about the Big East Championship, which begins Tuesday at Madison Square Garden. All 16 teams make it. So on Tuesday, 9 through 16 play. The 5 through 8 teams, West Virginia is one of those, get a single bye to Wednesday, and the top 4, Louisville being one of those, they get a double bye to the quarterfinals on Thursday. Look at Notre Dame and Georgetown, both at 1 point on the year.
Top 10
in the country. Top 10 in the country.
Top 10
and now look at where they are in their own conference.
Well, Georgetown had wins over Connecticut. Connecticut had beaten Memphis. Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you, I think 2 streaks might come to an end as Williams misses the free throw, which has been an Achilles heel, as Al McGuire would say, to Louisville, shooting 64% as a team. But here's 2 streaks coming to an end.
All right.
I think Kentucky, 17 years in a row, making it to the NCAA tournament, unless the miracle happens in the SEC. And also Arizona, right. 24 years in a row.
Real costly loss for Kentucky today. Arizona, I believe, is playing right now.
They're trying to be 500 in conference play.
Try to get your score momentarily. Nice cut. Nice patience. Nice reverse.
Nice job in the post, bringing the ball away from the strong side. Taking the ball in the post, keeping that pivot foot down. There it is. They're going to enter it down inside. Well coached there. Attack the gap area. Keeps that pivot foot down. Good job sharing the basketball. Unselfish play.
Deshaun Butler trying to pick it up for his buddy Alex Ruoff, who's on the bench with 4 fouls. Arizona, by the way, beat Stanford in a game that ended a short while ago, so they are right at 500 in the Pac-10.
I don't know if 500 in the Pac-10 is good enough to get you in, because the Pac-10 and the SEC have not been vintage this year. Ruoff's being a great cheerleader on that sideline. Bob Huggins would rather have him on the floor shooting the trifecta.
Samuels with a strong drive into Louisville. Just like that, they take the lead right back.
Good execution right there. Samardo Samuels gets the gap, attacks the basket. There's that 2-3. They're going to try to slide somebody in the foul line area. Right behind the front 2. Good ball reversal. They're always trying to slide someone to the post area. There it is, right in the post area.
Butler with a turnaround, the follow by Devin Ebanks.
Ebanks a terrific offensive rebounder. You said it earlier, buddy. Oh, look at Ruoff. I like him. He can play for me. He's at least a guy involved.
Williams. Not this time. And over the back, a foul on Samuels, his 4th.
4 on Samuels.
Momentum shifting. West Virginia in the lead.
I went down there and spoke after that. I stand on my head when they beat Illinois. I said, I'll stand on my head if they can beat them. And you know what? They ended up paying for my swimming pool by bringing me down there.
Wow, good to know. So there'll be a bid punch to the Ohio Valley. You saw the other three. How about Cornell, the Big Red win in the Ivy?
The Big Red, but what about Radford, coached by Brad Greenberg, Seth Greenberg's brother? Hey, Seth, your brother's in the Big Dance.
And all kinds of bubble teams. Maybe their bubbles burst today. Teams like Penn State losing, Kentucky losing, critical games. Maryland losing a big game today. So it's a tough job as always. Selection Sunday's not that far away. A lot is going to be decided during championship week.
Two major wins on a positive note today. Florida's win over Kentucky and the win by Michigan on the road with Minnesota. Two major W's.
I think Texas A&M beating Missouri too is a terrific win for them.
Especially Missouri coming off that win, which we had said watch that game against Oklahoma.
Congratulations, by the way, to Bill Self of Kansas winning the Big 12 championship after all they lost. And congratulations to Lorenzo Romar and Washington winning the Pac-10 title outright with a win over Washington State today.
And that shocked me after we saw them in Kansas City.
Yeah, they have really had a terrific season, 14-4 in the Pac-10.
Isaiah Thomas came on big for them, played like the real Isaiah Thomas. He really did. And John Brockman's a rebounding machine.
Ebanks draws the foul. ABC is your NBA destination tomorrow with a matchup of bitter rivals for the Western Conference. It's the Suns and the Spurs. GMC NBA Countdown, get it started at 3 o'clock. It'll be Shaq and Tim Duncan. Should be a lot of fun tomorrow afternoon.
Two of my favorite guys I covered on a collegiate level when I talk about Shaq and Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, just a consummate winner, understands how to play basketball.
Closing in on a double-double is Ebanks. He and Kevin Jones, two freshmen, have been a huge part of the story tonight for Bob Huggins, who's got nothing out of Ruoff. He hasn't been able to get shots off. He's got foul trouble. Butler starting to get going, but not having his normal night. And Ebanks and Jones have been sensational.
You know, Ebanks coming off 14 squared against DePaul.
There's point number 10. He's got 8 rebounds.
This place is electric, almost as electric as 2 nights ago. I saw Billy Joel and I saw Elton John. It was electric. His place is electric. The Mountaineer Maniacs going bananas. Go see that concert, by the way.
Jennings, great move. And you talked about the 10 fouls. Rick Pitino keeps alternating Samuels and Jennings, and he's getting good play out of both of them.
Yeah, he's got 2 solid diaper dandies on the interior.
Bryant, what a great play by Williams to steal that pass.
Not only steal it, there he is with the... Look, Bobby Huggins is absolutely frustrated over that play. Williams is the reason that Louisville's got a chance to win here tonight.
No foul call on Jennings. That would have been his fourth.
Wow, they got away with one there, Louisville.
Now Bob Huggins is really upset.
I don't blame him.
There's not a whole lot of Huggy Bear over there right now.
They absolutely missed one there, baby. Here's Clark. I think he frustrates you at times as a player. I think he teases you with all that ability.
He's got kind of a laid-back demeanor about him, whether it's accurate or not, but he can do things like that at 6'9". That's why the NBA is so excited about him.
He's got ability. I mean, there's no doubt about it. He's just got to be much more consistent. He can't be a Dow Joneser like my stocks are, go up and down. Except they're going down, down, down.
I was going to say. Clark with 10 tonight. Terrence Williams, though, the story, 19. 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, and he hasn't missed a 3.
And there's a foul on right there in the interior. Take a look at Williams.
That's a great
it, and here he is going to finish it. Finish in transition. There he is with the jam.
He's got 5 threes and 2 dunks. That's how he's gotten his 19 points tonight.
Came from the West Coast. The play from Mr. Pitino came out of Seattle. But they had a host of outstanding players.
And again, he is in the mix for Big East Player of the Year. I think with Marquette, and they lost again today in overtime to Syracuse. They lose 4 in a row. That probably is going to hurt Jarrell McNeil's case. DeJuan Blair is certainly going to get considered. Hashim Thabit is certainly going to get a lot of consideration. With Notre Dame down, even though Herringotti's got big numbers, that might knock him out of it. But this guy is in the conversation, even though he's only, and I use that term hesitantly, only averaging 12.5 points per game.
You know, Thabit did really a solid job, especially in the first half today against Blair. Contained Blair, the guy that hurt him, the guy that gets no recognition, has been outstanding for Pittsburgh all year, Sam Young.
That's right.
He's got 56 points against Connecticut in 2 games.
1 of 2 for Jones, 17 on the night. The Cardinals by 2.
And I'll tell you another guy should get some consideration. Levance Fields, his assist-to-turnover ratio is off the chart.
Yeah, it is. It's almost twice as good as anybody else in the conference.
And if you want to be big, you better have 3 weapons. And that's why Pittsburgh's so effective with Fields, Young, and also Blair. And you got Louisville here. They got weapons. They can hurt you in so many ways.
Louisville wins tonight. They're the 1 seed in the Big East Championship. Pittsburgh is 2. If Louisville loses this game, Pittsburgh is 1 and Louisville is 2. Connecticut is locked into the 3. Bob Huggins working his team hard right now.
He's so emotional, so intense. That passion, that desire really becomes contagious on his people.
4th foul on Andre McGee, but again, foul trouble is not as big of a problem for Louisville as virtually any other team because Rick Pitino has depth that is the envy of just about every other coach in America.
Well, he's got 4 guards he can rotate, so he's got 10 fouls in each guard slot. You joke about consistency. What about Huggins? 23 out of 26 seasons in the postseason. That's consistent, and that's really getting the most out of your people. Rick Pitino said it once, I'll say it again. Had he stayed at Kentucky, the Hall of Fame would have been there already.
Flowers in for Bryant right now for the Mountaineers.
Rick getting Aaron Andrews some really camera time.
Yeah.
Getting some camera time. And she can light the camera up. Playing that soft man-to-man defense. A lot of emotion on that floor. You can feel the intensity.
Mountaineer Maniacs right behind us. And as we mentioned off the top of the show, we've been told by folks here in Morgantown, this is the toughest ticket there's been for a basketball game in 10 years. And they were here 2 hours before the game. There were thousands of them for game day. Maybe the biggest crowd that the game day gang has ever seen. Why was this game so tough? Louisville obviously is a great team. It's senior night for Alex Ruoff, one of their favorites. Jerry West and the 59 team getting honored at halftime. Edgar Sosa knocks down a 3.
Sosa's been up and down in his career, but he's made some magical moments. Had the big 3 this year to beat Kentucky. Hey, just the fact that Jerry West is in the house is going to bring the sun.
That's pretty good, yep.
The logo himself.
Those are Sosa's first points of the game, by the way. Louisville back up by 3. More pressure from the Cardinals. They're relentless. And there's no true point guard in the game right now for West Virginia with Bryant on the bench. They don't really have a backup. There's a turnover by Flowers.
And that really what hurts you without a point guard.
Smith. Clark the offensive rebound. And a travel.
Smith's a guy that can shoot that perimeter shot. Has been up and down shooting it this year.
Now Bryant will check back in after that turnover. John Flowers gets yanked out of the game.
You know, you think about Louisville and a great tradition during the Denny Crum era. Back in the 80s, they were such a dominant program.
Won the national title in 1980 and 1986, and incidentally entered both of those tournaments, Dick, as a 2 seed. The only time Louisville has ever been a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament was 1983. They've got a shot, if they win tonight and win the Big East Championship, to be a #1 seed this year.
Yeah, really outside shot. They have a lot to happen to make. This guy's making every play, man. The medium range jump shot. I could see why Indiana wanted him so badly, and he committed. But what a break for Bob Huggins that he said no to the Hoosiers and came here to Morgantown.
Devin Ebanks, 12 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists.
That's pretty good day.
Not bad.
Almost as good as your day.
Incidentally, that's what Terrence Williams averages on the year, about 12, 8, and 5.
It's that ball screen up on top. I'm going to try to get it into Clark.
Got a size advantage on Butler, goes right at him. He traveled again.
He's lifting that pivot foot. This crowd loves it. They love hearing that whistle down on that side of the floor. Look at Jerry. Come on, Jerry. Come out here and shoot some cancer research.
And before we get too late in the game, how much fun has it been? And we want to thank, working with Aaron and with Phil and Doug and And Joe and Matt and Bonnie and everybody in the truck and all the game day gang. I mean, we have an 8-week run here doing the Saturday primetime games. We've been all over the country, seen some great games, and worked with one of the best crews around. It's been a real treat for both of us.
Oh, it's been a great thrill. I'm going to miss you now. You're going out to the Big East. I'm going out to the ACC, the 2 best conferences in America.
We'll keep in touch.
Oh, yeah, we'll keep in touch. I'll see you down at Lakewood Ranch at the Broken Egg. You'll be there.
I'll be there.
I'll be there tomorrow. Join me.
Deshaun Butler again, the relentless pressure from Louisville. That's been a bit more of a problem here in the second half of the Mountaineers than it was in the first half.
You know, Butler lit up Villanova for 43, and in the next 5 games, averaged about 12 a game.
What a pass. And then a block by Earl Clark. And then Louisville stepped out of bounds, so it'll be Mountaineer ball.
That would have been a great play for Louisville. You talk about a swing. That would have been a big deuce for Rick Pitino. He's produced so many outstanding head coaches, including Tubby Smith, Billy Donovan, Ralph Willard, Herb Sendick. What an incredible group. This guy understands basketball. First time I heard a lot about Rick Pitino was from my former assistant, Richie Adebato. He got a job at the Knicks, called me up and said, hey, there's a young guy with us. He is going to be a star of stars, and how right Richie was.
Now, I don't know if Tim Higgins is looking to see if the shot clock should have reset. I mean, Louisville clearly had possession. They made a pass ahead. Although was the player out of bounds before he made the pass. So I'm guessing this is a shot clock situation that they're looking at here. They're going to reset the shot clock,
well, it has to
trying to see where it was.
It has to be for a timing situation. Yeah. It's the only reason they can utilize the monitor in that case.
So did Louisville have possession? And no, they didn't, because it's Jennings, I believe. He never established himself back in bounds before he touched the ball. So they're going to reset the shot clock to 16. So good work there by Tim Higgins and the crew.
People just joining us, remember what's at stake. Louisville can win the Big East outright. The regular season, get the #1 seed.
Too easy off the inbounds play. The Mountaineers back on top.
Wide open. I see so many teams break down on the special situations of a simple inbounds under the basket. I really can't understand. I'm seeing more and more of that. Guys getting open shots.
Keep in mind, again, if you're just joining us, Alex Ruoff, it's his senior night. 4 fouls on the bench much of the night. No points in this game.
When does he bring him in?
Earl Clark forces it up. Rebound Jones.
I think he's got to get Ruoff for the game. I really do. I think he's got to play him the last 6 minutes.
I think Bob Huggins might be thinking the same thing, or at least Alex Ruoff is trying to suggest it to him. Ruoff chomping at the bit to get back in there.
Early in the game, Louisville seemed to dominate, jumped out 10.
Long jumper.
And Ebanks and Jones kept them in the game.
And we got an over-the-back foul. Wellington Smith, I believe. Since Ruoff went to the bench here in the second half, remember he picked up 2 fouls, Dick, in the span of just a few seconds early this half. Since he went to the bench, West Virginia has outscored Louisville 23-19.
Unbelievable. And that 4th foul he got was really just careless. Was absolutely careless. Pushed off, trying to get free for the basketball. Every possession now gets big. The question is, will Louisville get out of here as the #1 seed? People in Pittsburgh are cheering for the Mountaineers.
How about that? Connecticut is the 3, Villanova the 4. They've earned the double byes. Williams, and we've talked a lot about his shooting because it's been so good tonight, but where he really excels and separates himself is when he puts the ball on the floor, because there aren't many athletes like him.
Yeah, he can attack the basket, but now he better be able to convert free throws.
Yeah.
Their 2 best free throw shooters, when you talk about McGee, shoots and Smith, 70%. Everybody else is under 70. As a team, they shoot 64%. And that could be a major dilemma. And here comes Ruoff.
Williams, 58%.
The free throw line denied them the Big East championship last year. They shot 10 for 18 in a 3-point loss to Georgetown in the last game. Georgetown won it. Here comes Ruoff. And also, they would have won back-to-back national titles. I read it today against Arizona. The free throw line really hurt Louisville.
1 of 2 for Williams. Rebound Ebanks. Let's see if Ruoff can get untracked. Only took 2 shots in his 14 minutes in the game in the first half.
The roof will come off if he ever hits a 3 late in the game.
It would break the West Virginia record, career record, that he currently shares with Kevin Pittsnocker.
Tell you one thing, both Pitznagle and certainly Ruoff were lucky they didn't have a three-point shot with West playing, because that record would have been out of reach.
How many times have we seen Jones and Ebanks connect one way or the other tonight?
Well, there's the high-low. Got that great size. You look right over the defense. Great execution. Very efficient in their half-court offense.
Timeout, Louisville. So Ebanks and Jones, the freshmen, continue to get it done to West Virginia by 2.
You can take the Super Bowl. There's nothing like that Final Four weekend.
Well, what a night it has been so far here in Morgantown. The last Big East regular season game. Louisville trying to lock up an outright championship. And the #1 seed in the Big East Championship, which begins on Tuesday. They need a win to do it tonight. They're getting all they can handle from the Mountaineers. Williams for 3. Sosa the rebound.
They got the look they want. They got so much experience in this club. When you look at Sosa and Williams.
If Louisville loses, Pittsburgh, by the way, is the 1 seed in the tournament. Earl Clark drains the long-range jumper.
You know, Clark has been so good for them lately. He's been really on fire, averaging almost 20 a game. There's another turnover.
And Williams caused it. Sosa comes up with it and is fouled, but give all the credit to Terrence Williams.
What a big-time play by Sosa. His body control to convert, but you're right. Williams created the turnover. Good timeout by Bob Huggins. Good timeout.
5 quick points and a free throw coming for Louisville. The Clark 3. Williams forces the turnover. Sosa with the strong layup.
Talk about experience. There's the deflection. Not going to see the drive by Sosa. That's a super strong drive.
Yep.
A great balance to be able to convert that. And look at the cheerleader.
That's great. He's great.
He really is.
Yep.
I tell you, you're right, Dad. He's making a case for Player of the Year.
And the tough senior night continues for Alex Ruoff.
It has been a tough night for him.
All that's left to be decided in the Big East is who's 1, who's 2 between Louisville and Pittsburgh. West Virginia's locked into the 7, 9 through 16 play on Tuesday. The 4 winners advance to play 5 through 8 on Wednesday. 1 through 4 get a double bye to the quarters on Thursday. From Wednesday forward, you can see every game from the Big East Championship on ESPN.
Hey, I'll tell you this, Dan, 7 locks from the Big East.
Yes.
The question is, will Providence get a bid?
Well, I know how Digger feels because he's been talking about the Friars for a couple of weeks now. I don't think they've done enough right now. I think they've got work to do. But you're right, there are not a ton of bubble teams in this league.
Their schedules in terms of playing teams in this conference got a lot of wins early against the second half clubs.
The big win against Pittsburgh.
That was a major win.
Another turnover.
Nice pass. And I agree with you. I still think they need another win or two.
There are teams out there who help their cause around the country. You know, it's all connected. You can't just look at it within the framework of one conference. Providence is connected to South Carolina and Florida and Rhode Island and Michigan and a bunch of other teams. Sosa misses wide right. Jennings the rebound.
There's that big-time rebounding ability.
Sosa lines it up again. Misses wide left.
He goes wide right. He goes wide left.
He's got it surrounded.
He must kick field goals for Florida State.
4-point lead for the Cardinals. Under 4 to go here in Morgantown.
There's that zone 2-3. They've been successful up at that high post and going high-low.
Ebanks so good tonight.
He has been terrific.
Offensive rebound. Butler blocked from behind by Clark. Louisville ball.
It's amazing that they even have a chance to win with the performance thus far of Ruoff and Butler. Both guys have really not been their typical side.
Earl Clark stepping up for the Cardinals. The block at one end. The 3 a minute or so ago at the other end. Louisville with the lead. By 4 to Louisville. We revisit our Star Watch. Terrence Williams, 20 points, 6 steals, 6 assists.
Wow.
Alex Ruoff on his senior night. Foul trouble, scoreless, 6 turnovers.
He's had a nightmarish night. Hey, we just got an email from our buddy, Doris Bird. She does a great job as an analyst. She sent a message. My Friars belong in a tournament. Doris, they got to get a win in the first round of that tournament.
Sosa behind the back. Shot clock at 6. Nice pass. Jennings missed it. Rebound Jones.
Big stop right there. They needed that stop.
Under 3.
Louisville is starting to get that momentum.
They've scored the last 6 points.
Get the ball in Ebanks' hands. Even if he doesn't score, he makes things happen. Ruoff's not even thinking about shot. He seems to be playing very hesitant.
Butler needs help. Ruoff. Nice look. Wellington Smith. And a foul is going to go against Louisville. Both teams are over the limit.
Could come down to free throw shooting, and just remember this, Louisville, not a good free throw shooting team. Really a frustrating area for Rick Pitino, who worked so hard at that area.
1-1 coming for Devin Ebanks. Let's check in quickly with Aaron.
Dan, just to mention about Louisville missing the free throws last year and talking to Rick Pitino about it, I asked him, did you relive that moment with your guys heading into this game? He said, Aaron, I didn't even need to. It's fresh on everybody's mind. He said, since this team is a very intense group, always in your face, and suddenly you have to change your personality when you go into the line, he stressed to them tonight, just calm down, try to relax.
Tell you one thing, Aaron, this guy's relaxed. This diaper dandy at the free throw line is going to be one special player.
Double-double tonight.
Always coaching, always coaching. Pitino in every possession. Eats, sleeps, and drinks the game. Has such a passion as a leader.
Boy, those are 2 huge free throws for a freshman. 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists for Ebanks.
He has been totally, really multi-dimensional tonight. Love this crowd. These people really get after it. Now, every possession, there they are, matching up in their defense. Releasing cutters.
Williams off a screen, Ebanks defending.
He can really attack with the ball in his hands.
Lost it.
Oh, he's looking around his back. Trying to get a little showtime there.
I'll tell you, if Ruoff hits one now and they take the lead and it's his first shot of the game, the roof really will come off this place.
Need a new building. He's not really active enough to get free. He's very easy to defend right now. The easiest player in basketball to defend is a guy that's not constant motion.
Louisville in a zone. McGee out on Ruoff.
You would originally think a zone would play into his hands, but their zone has matched up with him so effectively.
Here it is.
Finally got a shot, doesn't go down.
It's going to be West Virginia ball, I think. I think it was deflected. No, it's going to be Louisville ball.
He finally got a decent look.
Yeah. Shot clock was running down. Wasn't wide open. Now 0 for 3, still scoreless.
But at least he was able to square his body and get a look at the rim.
Minute and a half.
Managing the clock now. And free throw. Can Louisville make free throws? That'll be a determining factor if they're going to win this game and win the Big East regular season championship.
Timeout of Rick Pitino. With 1:16 to go.
I'm always so impressed with what I'm watching Pitino in practice. He's such a teacher.
Championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods is on ESPN2 tomorrow.
Bob Huggins, you talk about coaching, you talk about putting your heart and soul in it. Both these guys have been such big-time winners. You got to be impressed with the resiliency of the Louisville kids to go constantly on the road and come out victorious.
Williams the kick. Smith the 3. Got it!
The right guy shot the ball.
Make it a 2. Toe on the line. It's a 2 for Jerry Smith. Terrence Williams, though, again initiated the play.
Well, Williams knew that Smith has a good reputation as a shooter. Now here comes that tough man-to-man defense.
Ruoff. Short again. Nice pass.
Great reaction. Great reaction by Ruoff to find the open man.
Career high 19 for Jones.
Bob Knight always talked about, don't be a guy that reacts. You want to anticipate. He anticipated that.
You see the difference between 8 and 9 seconds between the game clock and shot clock.
What a great. Amazing. You think about a Georgetown as a 12th seed, Notre Dame is 10, both have been in the top 10. You think Connecticut, a number 3 seed in the conference, and they were number 1 in America for most of the year.
So you talked about it, but for those who didn't see it on game day an hour before this game, the Big East, in your opinion, top to bottom? Clearly the best league in the country?
30 years I've been doing games here. I have never, ever seen a league from top to bottom, the quality of this league. Now they got 16 teams, and they're all big-time programs. The ACC is number 2 this year, Big Ten number 3.
And 3 teams in Louisville, Pittsburgh, and Connecticut, clearly, who have the ability to be the last team standing and cut down the...
You know, John Calipari called me up. He said, ridiculous saying would be 5. I said, John, that's a compliment. 5, you're in the top 10 in America.
Again, about an 8.5-second difference between the game clock and shot clock. Williams, again, the kick to Smith.
He has that great size, Williams, to look over the top of the defense.
And a hold on West Virginia.
Might be a good foul to put him on the free throw line.
9th team foul, 1-and-1 coming for Smith.
See, not the guy, though, you want to foul. He's the one guy that can make free throws.
Jerry Smith, 70% on the season. The next foul for either team puts the other team into the double bonus.
Well, if he only makes 1, it's a 3-point game. If I'm on the other side, I don't let them shoot the 3.
Bob Huggins will use a timeout.
Doesn't matter. The Maniacs just scream all they want. If you're a shooter, you're a shooter. If you can't shoot, you can't shoot.
Sports Center next year on ESPN. A look at a busy and exciting day of college basketball among the many stories. Also, T.O. has signed. NFL news. 2 huge free throws in a 2-possession game.
You don't want to foul right here. You want to be able to make them take time off that clock. You got to score quickly.
And Butler is fouled, so the clock will stop with 6.2 seconds to go, and Butler will get 2 free throws.
That is absolutely a no-no, and you better believe Rick Pitino will point that out. To be able to stop the clock, let him put points on the board, and let him allow now to rotate into a defensive pressure.
10th foul, 2 shots coming, 75% on the season for Butler.
One more.
Substitution checking in for Cardinals. Anthony Sosa.
Louisville's got 1 timeout left. West Virginia's got 2.
The only way Ruoff can save his night is somehow miraculously they force a steal and he hits an incredible 3.
Williams with the rebound, and he's fouled.
Got a foul right there. No time basically taken off.
And Williams in a little bit of pain, it appears, as he now jogs his way up the court. He has had a sensational night with 20 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. I think he has 6 steals as well, and has been the dominant player in this game.
Well, he certainly established himself early, making his first 5 threes. Certainly was a major factor. On the other side, Ebanks and Jones were effective. Butler and Ruoff certainly didn't play up to their standard. As that free throw line, that could be a major factor come the postseason. Last year, they went to the Elite 8, got beat by North Carolina. West Virginia, Bobby Huggins, his first year at his alma mater. Went to the Sweet 16 after beating Arizona and Duke.
Bob Huggins will use a timeout. They'll
and get ready for the tournament. He's had himself a terrific career.
Rick Pitino will only put 1 player up front. That'll be McGee, probably just to pressure the ball and slow them down.
He makes it, and it's academic.
He missed it.
They got a shot. They got a shot. I wouldn't let him shoot the 3. I wouldn't let him shoot the 3. Oh, he had a good look.
Deshaun Butler got a look in the final seconds and missed the 3 as Louisville wins 62-59, and the Cardinals are the champions of the Big East.
16-2. I spoke at a big banquet recently, and Mr. Pitino said in the Louisville papers, if you would have told me it would have been 12-6, I thought it would have been a great year. And I said, if you believe that, you are in trouble, people. I want to sell you some real estate. There's no way he'd accept 12-6.
Boy, he got a pretty good look.
Yes, sir. Real good look. See, I would not allow him that look. If that goes down, it goes to overtime. Edge goes big time to West Virginia.
So the Louisville Cardinals are the Big East regular season champs. Despite the missed free throws by Williams, he had a phenomenal night. Aaron Andrews is standing by with Rick Pitino.
Coach took a big sigh of, I guess, relief as you came over here. Coach, when Terrence Williams misses that last free throw, what are you thinking?
Georgetown, and you're not going to believe this, but I was thinking 97, we lose a championship in overtime against Arizona because of the foul line. I said, baby, don't curse me one more time.
Well, it doesn't happen. You win the Big East title outright for the first time in school history. How do you put it into words?
Well, it's awesome, Aaron, because it's the toughest league in the history of the Big East. But we haven't been in the Big East too long now. We're in Conference USA for quite a time.
So you go into the conference tournament now with the #1 seed. What do you think of that?
It's an awesome accomplishment. Real proud of the guys. We had a great spurt with our press, defense to offense, and that's what we're going to keep on doing.
All right, Coach, good luck the rest of the way. Dan.
All right, Aaron, thank you very much. A happy and relieved Rick Pitino. The Cardinals are the champions, the regular season champs of the Big East, thanks to a great night from Terrence Williams, who had 20 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, and 6 steals. They'll be the 1 seed going into the Big East Championship. Sports Center is next here on ESPN. For more on this game, we'll wrap it up on ESPN News. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For my singing partner, Dickie V and Aaron Andrews, I'm Dan Schulman saying so long from Morgantown. Sports Center is next.